The aim of this lesson is to teach you how to create a database in Microsoft Access using the data provided in the CSV files. Okay, so firstly we're going to launch Microsoft Access. This is found as a shortcut on your desktop. You need to double click the shortcut to access. This will launch Microsoft Access. You need to select blank desktop database. On the next window that pops up, you need to rename your database using an appropriate file name. So in this case, I'm going to call my database One Hit Wonders database. One Hit Wonders database. I'm going to browse to a suitable folder where I'm going to save this. So I'm going to click on this folder icon here, which brings up this next window. So I need to go to my area. So in this case, I'm going to save it in the stuff area, but obviously you'll be saving it in your own area. You should have created a folder for practice assignment, and inside your practice assignment folder, you should then have another folder for execution, because the stage for creating the database is actually execution stage. So I'm going to go to ICT. This is my area. Okay, it's lagging a bit. So for what I'm doing here, you should be browsing to your own area. Execution, One Hit Wonders database, and click OK. After I've done this, so I've renamed the database using an appropriate file name. I've browsed to an appropriate place in my area, so you should have an area called practice assignment. Inside the practice assignment folder, you should have a folder called execution. If you've not done that, please do create it. Browse to that folder and create your database in that folder. So finally, I'm going to select create. Okay, so this is what you see. So when you create a new database in Access, there's a default table called table 1 that is created. We really do not want this, so I'm going to close this. To do that, you right click here and select close, and do not save it. Okay, the next phase I'm going to do is I'm going to import the 2 CSV files that were provided. Now these are in the shared area. Okay, I'm just going to browse to that shared documents folder so you can see exactly where the 2 CSV files are. So go to shared documents, go to ICT, Cambridge National Certificate in IT, practice assignment, online music store, and there's 2 CSV files. One is called members v1.csv, the next one is called tracks v1.csv. So these 4 files contain the data that we will need to create our database. We actually used these 2 files when we planned our database and created a data dictionary. Okay, so I'm going to close this and show you how to import this data from the CSV file into Microsoft Access. So I'm going to select external data, select text file, click browse. This allows you to navigate to the shared area. So you're going to select shared documents, find a folder called ICT, Cambridge National Certificate in IT, practice assignments, online music store. So we've got our 2 files there. I'm going to select the first file, which is members v1.csv, and then select open. I'm not going to make any changes here. I'm going to click OK. On the next window, I'm going to make sure that delimited characters such as comma or tab separate each field is selected, because if you look at my text at my CSV file, the columns are separated by a comma. So we refer to this as comma separated values. That's why the file is called .csv. Simply stands for comma separated values. I'm going to click next. As you can see here, I now have the data in columns. Make sure that comma is selected, and also select first row contains field names, because the first row in our CSV file contains the field names such as member ID, title, first name, and so forth. So again, just make sure you've got comma selected and select first row contains field names. Click next. On the next window, this is where you select the data types. So if you look carefully in your data dictionary, you now have some data types selected. Usually these are automatically selected to the right data, to the right data types. The only change that we're going to make here is on the field that says payment declined. All other data types, as you can see, are all the correct data types. So order date, that's date with time. But if you look at payment declined, it's short text. I want to change this to yes, no, because those are the only answers that are available, yes, no, and the appropriate data type for that will be yes, no. Then click next. In the next window, you need to make sure that we select no primary key. If we don't select this field, Microsoft Access will create a new primary key for us. We do not want a new primary key created because we already got a member ID as our primary key. So again, select no primary key and click next. We're going to rename this from members V1. I'm going to call this imported members data, and then click finish. I'm going to select close. So now I've got my data for all the members imported. So if I double click this to open and just see how it looks like, so this is how it looks like, just exactly as it is in the spreadsheet. Okay, I'm then going to close this because I don't need it at this stage, so make sure it's closed. Secondly, I'm going to import the CSV file containing all the tracks data. So again, select external data, text file, browse to the same folder in the shared area which contains the CSV files, highlight tracks v1.csv, click open, then click OK. Again, I'm going to leave the first option delimited, characters such as comma or tab separate each field selected. I'm going to leave that selected and click next. On the next window, I'm going to make sure that comma is selected, but also first row contains field name selected. You will get this error, okay? You're just going to click OK. This error is being caused because some of the field names for the weeks are not in the right format, but we're going to ignore that because we really don't need that information in our database. We're just going to focus on the artist and tracks data. So again, make sure comma is selected, first row contains field names is also selected, and then click next. On the next window, this is just where we can change the data types. We're going to leave everything exactly as it is because the data types that are selected are already correct. Click next. On this window, we're going to make sure that we do not allow Access to select a primary key for us. So I'm going to select no primary key. Click next. The next window, rename this as tracks rename this as imported tracks data, and then click finish. The next window, just click close. So again, I've got my data for tracks imported successfully. So if I double click this, I can open it and I can actually see that this is all the data. Again, I'm going to close this. On the next video, I'm going to show you how to create tables, the three tables, i.e. the members table, the tracks table, and the orders table from this data. So we're going to be creating those three tables from these two tables that we've imported from Excel. Okay, see you in the next video.